Hi, it's Caitlin, and I'm here with a whole bunch of new releases from Glisten Glow. There's a lot of really pretty stuff, and I am very excited to show everything to you. I will include a link to the Glisten Glow website down below in the description. Most everything I'm showing is available now, but then some of it will be releasing soon. So I will include all of those details down in the description. I've got just some really fun toppers, which everybody knows. I love toppers, it's like my thing. So whenever I see toppers, I get very excited, and these are amazing. Of course, there's gorgeous shimmers, and you can't have a Glisten Glow video without a Crelly or two. So let's get into it. The first polish we're gonna look at is 43 and Filled with Glee. This came out, I believe, in January, and it is a celebration of Jill herself, who is a Capricorn who turned 43 in January of this year. This polish is both a topper or a standalone polish, so I will show it built up on its own, and then I'll show it topped over various Glisten and Glow creams. This one is described as a clear base topper loaded with color shifting shimmers that shift from purple to blue to pink to orange to yellow to green with added hollow microflakes. And it really is beautiful. If you build it up on its own, it's just really ethereal, and it blew me away over some of the topper, like as a topper, over some of the colors. So I'm excited to show you that. But I do think it's beautiful on its own, and it has a fantastic formula. It builds up beautifully. And of course, I am topping my swatches with the Glisten Glow Top Coat. This is sort of their OG product. I am very tired today. This product was actually, I believe, what the brand started with before Jill even sold nail polish. She sold a top coat, so it's a fantastic top coat. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I use Cuticulate Limitless, that is my number one, but this is a close second. And here you can see some of those color shifts. They're not as obvious when you don't use it as a topper, but it's definitely beautiful in my opinion, and definitely something I would wear just on my bare nail like this. It looks especially gorgeous in the sun. And thankfully the sun was out so I could capture it. Now I'm going to show you this polish layered over 4 different creams from Glisten Glow, all of which I love. On my index, I've got the Real Coffins of Transylvania, and that's just a beautiful, rich oxblood. I will also show you close-ups of the topper base combo after I swatch them. And then the middle finger is this really pretty sort of off-white, maybe with a blue undertone, but mostly an off-white called Oh My Buffy. And then my ring finger is Tropic Like It's Hot, which is a neon pink. And on my pinky, it's sort of like a taupey gray. And I personally think this topper looks really gorgeous over a deep shade or the hot pink. You definitely get the most color payoff, and you can see those shifts most obviously over the deeper base versus a lighter one, but of course it gives more of an ethereal vibe over a lighter polish. So it's a super versatile topper, and you definitely want to top it with top coat because that brings out the shine and just creates the most beautiful finish. So here it is over the Real Coffins of Transylvania, over Oh My Buffy. Definitely gives a very wintry vibe. And then it's super fun over Tropic Like It's Hot.
And lastly, over 'Tis the Season to Be Freezin', I actually really do like that combo. And here I wanted to let you see just how the shifts pop differently over the different base colors. And obviously they're most visible over the index, and I would also argue my pinky finger. Next up we have Capricorns are the goat, and this one is another topper. It's a clear base topper loaded with color shifting iridescent flakes that shift from orange to pink to yellow to green to blue at various angles with added hollow microflakes. Now this one, I didn't bother showing it on its own because I do think this really does shine as a topper. And oh, I love this one so much. I love the previous one, but I do love a good mix of flakes, and there are some beautiful color shifts in the flakes in this topper. And I am again using the same base creams, and again, I think I'm loving this most over the Real Coffins of Transylvania, but I really like it over Oh My Buffy. It just gives such a wintry vibe. This I do also recommend applying top coat. I am using the Glisten Glow Top Coat. I love how quickly that top coat dries. It does give a really shiny gel-like finish, and I do find it lasts at least a few days before it starts dulling, and that depends on how much you're washing your hands, if you're using a ton of hand sanitizer. But it's a really good top coat, and it dries very quickly. Here you can see the color just really pops over that deep oxblood red. I love this combination in particular. And I do also love it over Oh My Buffy. It's almost hard to believe it's the same topper because now it looks very blue. And it looks really fun over Tropic Like It's Hot, which is one of my favorite hot neon pinks. And it's also really beautiful over this sort of purpley, taupey shade. It's a really interesting color. And here you can see the many, many color shifts that you get from the topper and just how different it looks over each color. I love that extreme angle green shift, which pops the most over my index finger. I just love that. And I mean, this would look incredible over a black as well. And with a matte top coat, it would be so pretty. Now we're moving along to the Love Songs trio. And every year, for the past several years, Glisten Glow has been creating a different volume of love songs for Valentine's Day. This one is actually volume 4, and the first polish I'm showing you is called Adore You, and this one is a light purple jelly loaded with various sized hex and circle neon pink glitters. If you know Glisten Glow, you'll know that they are a brand that really know how to make acrylic, and this one has a beautiful formula. I love the base color. It's very squishy and very, I don't know how to describe it. It's just really cute, I guess is the best way to describe it. And you might need 3 coats, but I am going to do 2, and then I will be applying the Glisten Glow Glitter Grabber, which is honestly a must-have if you use glitter polishes. So you can see that this does dry down textured, and what the glitter grabber will do is add an additional layer of, I don't exactly know what it is, but I know that it sort of acts as this resurfacing product that you let dry for about 10 minutes, and then you go in with the Glisten Glow Top Coat, and as you can see, it's not fully smooth with glitter grabber, but once you go in with the regular quick drying top coat. It creates this amazing seal, which is almost like an encapsulated glitter gel nail. It's a must-have if you use glitters, and it makes this polish look so yummy and squishy. The glitters in this polish are blacklight reactive, but I don't have any blacklight flashlights in my house. I always forget to get one. I should have one, but I don't. So if you find yourself in blacklight, you'll be pleasantly surprised by this one. And I just wanted to show it off from a different angle because I think it's really flattering and cute. Moving along, we have Be My Baby. This one is a vibrant medium pink jelly with added hollow micro flakes. This is another squishy, cutie polish. It doesn't have the glitter in it, but if you don't really like working with glitters, then definitely grab this one. It won't be difficult to remove, and it won't dry down textured. This is a really pretty medium shade of pink as it's described. I really like the hollow in this one. It is quite holographic in my opinion. It's not overly silvery, and unfortunately I don't think I had any sun when I was swatching, but you can definitely see the rainbowy glints from the flakes in this one. And I would recommend building this one up in 3 coats to get as much opacity as possible. And it does have that jelly effect to it, so you might see a tiny bit of your nail peeking through, but at 3 coats there's enough going on that it'll obscure anything underneath. And while it does dry down pretty glossy, I still recommend a top coat, especially the Glisten Glow Top Coat. It'll just give it a gel-like shine and help with the longevity. Being a pink lover, I think this is so pretty. And of course, I love the song Be My Baby by the Ronettes. It's like one of the best songs ever. Here you can get a taste for what shade of pink this is. It works really well on my skin tone. It's not a hot pink or neon pink by any means, but it is a really pretty medium, maybe slightly cool leaning pink. I don't know, but I really like it on my skin tone. And lastly, from the Love Songs Trio Volume 4, we have Love Me Like You Do. And this one is a vibrant hot pink matte cream polish. It's made with a matte base and it is blacklight reactive. This has a fantastic formula. So in the first coat, it goes on really evenly, which is what you want with a matte top, not matte top coat, matte polish. You could leave this in 1 coat, but I will show it in 2 for anyone who's curious. And I will show this with a glossy top coat too. It is a really, really pretty shade. It's described as a hot pink. I guess I think of hot pink. When I think of hot pink, I think of neon pink. This is more of a magenta bright pink. So it's a really pretty shade. This is it just on its own in 2 coats. If you wanted to help the longevity, you could use a matte topper, and a matte top coat will help with longevity. The Glisten Glow Matte Top Coat is fantastic. And now I will show it with the Glisten Glow Glossy Top Coat, which when you add that, it just kind of livens up the color. It looks a little brighter with the top coat. And I will recommend a good base coat with this polish. I didn't experience any staining, but if you're prone to it, just be aware that you should definitely use a base coat. And now we are moving into a collection called the Ode to Tumblers collection that's launching on the Glisten Glow website on the 23rd of February. It is inspired by none other than Stanley Tumblers. So these are named after actual colors of the tumblers and inspired by the color shade of the tumbler itself. And first up we have Ivory Hint. This one is a pastel ivory crelly loaded with larger particle color shifting shimmers that shift yellow, green, blue. This has a really good formula, and we can just not talk about the whole Stanley thing because it's wild, and it's like the Beanie Baby craze. There's always going to be something, and yeah, it's wild. The whole concept is wild. So this polish is beautiful. I love how squishy it is. It has a fantastic formula, and the shifts in there are not over the top. There's not a ton of the shimmer pigment. I think it's done perfectly. It makes for a really elegant finish, and honestly, someone asked in the comments about bridal shades, specifically for an older bride, and I think this would be a really, really pretty bridal shade for anyone of any age, and I just think this is a really pretty color in general, and I personally am going to wear it again. Here you're seeing what it looks like, so you can get a taste of the shift. So like I was saying, it's not going to slap you in the face with the color shifting particles. I think they just add to the polish overall and do a really pretty job of catching your eye depending on the lighting. And I'm trying out this new sort of hand pose because polishes look different with a bottle versus this way. Next up we have Melon, and this one is a pastel orange crelly loaded with larger particle color shifting shimmers that shift red to orange to yellow to green to blue. So the one critique I would have is that the descriptions say these polishes are loaded with the shimmer, and maybe they are, but just they're not hitting me in the face like the other previous collections that Glisten Glow put out with the color shifting shimmers. I can try to link them in the cards. These are obviously more delicate, more dainty, a little more subtle, but what you're seeing here in my video is accurate and a true representation of the polishes, which are absolutely beautiful, but they're just not, it's not a polish where you're going to move your hand and get, green and then pink and then purple like some other really shifty shimmer polishes. So this is Melon, and I did swatch what you're going to see. Everything after Ivory, I decided to swatch them over the Glisten Glow Ridge Filling Base Coat, and that allowed me to only need two coats of color versus 3. And I'm also going to show most of these with a matte top coat and a glossy top coat because I was just kind of curious if applying a matte top coat would give you more of like the Stanley Tumbler vibe. I don't think I've ever seen one in real life, but to me, in my mind, I feel like they have a rubbery matte finish. And I would also be curious to know if you prefer these glossy or matte. So here you can see what I mean. You definitely see the particles, the color shift, but maybe it's because the crelly base, it just is a little more integrated and subtle, but I think it works beautifully, and these are a really pretty take on pastels. And this one is a perfect match for my skin tone almost, so it's a really pretty nude. And next up is Sizzling Pink. This one is a pastel light pink crelly with larger particle color shifting shimmer that shifts red to orange to yellow to green to blue. Now this one, as I recall, out of all of them, I felt this one had the most obvious color shift to it, and you can probably already see it here. that hint of orange that's almost always visible in this polish, regardless of the lighting that you're in. And I think this is a really pretty color palette. It's a very muted pastel palette. And I also just love consistent collections like this because you can do Skittles, nail art, whatever you want, and you have this sort of cohesive set of colors that work beautifully together. Once again, I used 2 coats of this over the Glisten Glow Ridge Filling base coat, and they work fine if you want to build them up in 3. I do recommend 3 coats, but I found when I layered it over the ridge filling base, I only needed 2 coats of polish. And here you can see it with the matte top coat. And I think you can agree after seeing the last 2 that this one definitely has the most visible shimmer and color shift to it. So if you like the collection but you want something with a stronger shimmer, definitely pick up Sizzling Pink. That definitely has the strongest shimmer effect, as you can see. It's kind of fun to revisit these swatches because I'm like, oh, I really do like these polishes on my hand. Moving along, we have Pool, and this one is a pastel aqua crelly. This one has the color shifting shimmers in red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. And this is a really pretty shade of aqua. I really like it, and it makes me want mini eggs. I don't know. It's just a really pretty, bright, but subdued kind of bluey aqua. And again, I think as we get deeper base colors, there's more of a contrast with the shimmer particles, so they're slightly more visible, just like we saw in Sizzling Pink. So this one definitely sort of looks like sunlight sparkling on waves in the ocean or maybe a pool. And it's just a really pretty complement to the base color. And as you can see, all of these dry pretty shiny, but of course adding top coat definitely gives it a really beautiful rounded out complete look. And the Glisten Glow Top Coat does a great job with longevity. Honestly, I can get up to a week with barely any tip wear and definitely no chips. So here you can definitely see the shimmer. It contrasts really nicely with the base and complements it. You can see the green with the aqua. It just works really beautifully. And I'm always looking for the right shade of aqua for me, and I'm really happy with this one. So really pretty shade of blue, really pretty with that shimmer. Here we have Feather Green, and Feather Green is the light green pastel in the collection. It has that same shift from red, orange, yellow, green to blue. And this is quite a beautiful shade of green. All of the formulas are super consistent, and I don't think I applauded that part of the formula yet, but as you can see, beautiful even coverage even on that first coat. If you really wanted to leave it in one over the ridge filling base coat, you definitely could, but it's very self-leveling, no strokes, nothing. Jill is a pro at formulating beautiful polishes, so it's no surprise. And this one, I personally really like it with the matte top coat. But it also looked great with the glossy top coat, so that's why I wanted to show both for anyone who is curious. And this is another one where you definitely see the color shifts. That reddy orange really complements the base color, and this is a really beautiful shade of green. I haven't got a lot of polishes in this particular shade of pastel green, so I do think it's unique and obviously very beautiful. And last but not least, we have Iris, and this one is a pastel baby blue. This one has really pretty color shifting shimmer again, same shifts. I won't bore you. But this is another beautiful pastel shade. I'm sure a lot of people are like, ugh, pastels, boring. But I think that these are really pretty with the shimmer. I haven't seen anyone do anything like this. And I do think all of the pastel shades are worthy in their own right of some love and respect, because they're just a little bit different from other colors that I've seen personally. Others might disagree, but I've seen a lot of polish, and I do think that these are all beautiful in and of themselves. And then the shimmer, of course, just adds that little something special that takes these over the edge into something really beautiful and also entertaining to have on your nails. And at the end of the day, I really want to be entertained by my nails, so bring on the shimmer. This is a really pretty matte contender as well, but I do still think I prefer glossy. And again, you can see the color shifts in this one nice and visibly. It's a really, really pretty blue, and it's just so delicate and soft. It's perfect for springtime. And also let me know what you think about this secondary pose, if it's more helpful than the other one or helpful as an addition.
It's obviously no surprise that Capricorns are the GOAT. That is just so incredible. The flakes in there are absolutely beautiful, and I love it layered over light colors, dark colors, you name it, I'm here for it. So I definitely recommend that one. And from the Ode to Tumblers collection, I really liked Ivory Hint. I'm not usually like into colors like that, just like a beigey off-white, but the shimmer in that one is gorgeous. It has a really good formula, and I just really like the way it looked. So I would love to hear your thoughts on the polishes I shared with you in this video. And I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye.